Pig is undoubtedly one of the most popular children's cartoons of the last 2 decades. But did you know that Peppa's journey began long before her official debut in 2004? Although the cartoon has a very simple visual style, the success of the Little Pink Pig grew impressively over more than 300 episodes. And like every good adventure, Peppa's story began a long time ago. And that's exactly what we're going to tell you now. So come with us and discover even more about the fantastic world of Peppa, the beginning of it all. The first episode of Peppa Pig aired on May 31st, 2004, and it was created by 3 brilliant minds, Ashley, Baker, and Davis. These 3 were the geniuses behind the show, which, honestly, it's almost impossible for anyone not to have seen at least once in their life. In the beginning, the characters had a much simpler design. Not that they aren't still, and the episodes were also very short, with an average of just 4 minutes. But even so, the audience was immediately charmed, as the episodes were quick and very fun. Now, what's most surprising is that the origin of this story began more than 20 years before the show's launch, back in 1982. It was in that year that one of Peppa's creators released an animation that would be the basis for all future projects related to Peppa Pig and its sibling shows. This film was called The 3 Knights and lasted just 11 minutes, showing 3 knight friends who went on adventures, saving people, even accidentally saving witches. The most curious part is that this animation wasn't made for children, but rather for adults. It was then that Baker, creator of the 3 Knights, teamed up with Ashley and Davis, and they improved the concept, creating a new show that takes place in the same universe as Peppa Pig, The Mighty Knights, which, surprisingly, has everything to do with the Piggies show, The Mighty Knights. The series, The Mighty Knights, told the story of 2 brothers, Sir Boris and Sir Maurice, who were knights with the strength of 4 men and the weight of 16. The show had just 1 season of 13 episodes, which aired between 1999 and 2000. The most interesting part is that during that same year, 1999, the first drafts of the Peppa Pig story were already in development. But all this work was kept secret, as the animation studio wanted to focus exclusively on the Mighty Knights at that moment. The plot was set in a fictional country called Barovia, where humans wore medieval clothes, but at the same time had access to modern technologies like electricity, telephones, and even televisions. It was quite a peculiar setting for a time of kings, queens, and castles. In our video, Where Are the Humans in Peppa Pig?, we show how Barovia is located very close to Madame Gazelle's homeland, and there's even a theory that the humans were expelled from England by the animals, seeking refuge in this distant kingdom. Check out this video later. You're going to love it. Although it was a show aimed at children, the Mighty Knights didn't shy away from including some jokes that bordered on the limits of children's humor. Unfortunately, the show didn't reach the expected success, and the creators ended up abandoning the project. However, the 3 partners didn't give up and decided to take those initial ideas, reformulate them, and direct them towards a much younger audience, focusing on the preschool age group. And, well, this decision turned out to be more than right. But before we continue, if you're also a fan of cartoons, comment me below so we know if you really enjoy this animation universe, just like we do. Pilot episode, back to the story of the Little Pink Piggy. In 2002, after spending 2 years developing the Peppa Pig project, the creators gathered the team, and in a small studio, they aired the first episode of the show. In it, we are immediately introduced to Peppa and her family. The opening sequence shows the pig family members, each with their unique traits, and then we see Peppa in action for the first time, along with her parents and little George, having lots of fun jumping in muddy puddles. Besides the fun in the mud, we see Peppa helping her dad dig a hole in the yard, and her mom with tasks on the computer, something quite different from what would become the final version of the series. It's interesting to note how, initially, the cartoon showed Mummy Pig working in an office, something that practically disappeared in later episodes. Another interesting detail in the pilot episode was the original appearance of the characters. For example, Susie, who was already Peppa's best friend, had a much woollier and fluffier look, very much like a cute sheep. This was changed because they wanted Peppa to remain the cutest character of all. Moreover, the character Pedro Pony, who would later become famous as the Pony with Glasses, was initially going to be Penny Pony, a female character without glasses and with long ears. These characters underwent several modifications until the version we know today, but it's interesting to think about how the series would have been different if these original ideas had remained. Peppa Pig wasn't officially launched until 2004, but the 2002 drafts show how the creative process evolved over time. Launch. In May 2004, Peppa Pig's first episode finally aired, titled Muddy Puddles. In it, Peppa and George learn the important lesson that, to play in puddles, it's essential to wear boots. This discovery turns out to be hilarious because, in the process, they end up changing color because of the mud. At the end of the episode, the entire family is jumping in a big puddle formed after rain, and the inevitable happens. Daddy Pig, as clumsy as always, slips and falls, making everyone laugh a lot. This iconic moment would be repeated in many other episodes, becoming one of the show's trademarks. This initial episode was just the beginning of a long success story, with over 300 episodes being released over 2 decades. Seasons and games. The first season of Peppa Pig consisted of 52 episodes, all released by the end of 2004. The success was huge, and the series quickly aired in several countries around the world, from the United States to China. In total, Peppa Pig was broadcast in over 180 countries, establishing itself as a global success. 2 years later, in September 2006, the second season premiered, also with 52 episodes. This time, the production took a little longer to finish, extending until mid-2007, as the goal was to end the season with a big Christmas special, which would be the series' first. In 2008, the first game of the series, Peppa Pig, the Game, came out and was an immediate hit among children. Shortly after, in 2009, the third season was released, also with 52 episodes. At this point, Peppa's creators decided to expand the Piggies universe and launch the show Ben and Holly, which follows the adventures of a small elf and a fairy princess, both tiny in size. This show is also very good, and there are many clues that its world is located in the same universe as Peppa Pig. The Ben and Holly series had more than 130 episodes and was concluded in 2013. Before that, the fourth season of Peppa was already airing, along with new video games and even a theme park dedicated to the Piggy, Peppa Pig World, which opened in England. Without a doubt, Peppa Pig is a true phenomenon in the world of cartoons. But believe it, the best is yet to come. If you've made it this far, it's because you also love these amazing cartoons. So, don't waste any more time. Subscribe to the channel and stay up to date with all the news. Movies and puppets. Many people have no idea, but by 2024, 4 movies of the world's most famous pink pig had already been released. The first one came out in 2015 and featured a collection of exclusive episodes from the series. This movie was called Peppa Pig, Golden Boots. Right after the 5th season, in 2017, the second movie came out. In it, we see Peppa and her family embark on a new adventure, this time on a vacation trip to Australia. This marked the beginning of the family's international travels. Almost simultaneously with the release of the second movie, the second theme park dedicated to the Piggy was opened, this time on the other side of the world, in Shanghai, China, named Peppa Pig Playland. And the success only grew, as in 2017, 2 more parks opened in Europe, one in Italy and another in Germany, both called Peppa Pig Land. This just reinforces how much the character is a global phenomenon. Now, something really fun happened that same year. Peppa's official puppet troupe was created. Yes, now you can see on stage not only the Piggy and her family, but also her best friend, Susie Sheep, Danny Dog, and even Miss Rabbit, the character with over 100 different jobs. These shows travel the world, bringing lively and fun stories to children and their families. And it didn't stop there. Peppa also had 2 more movies, one in 2019 and another in 2024, where the highlight was the wedding of Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow. During this period, we also saw the release of the 6th and 7th seasons with 52 episodes each, along with 2 more super fun games. And in 2022, another Peppa Park opened, this time in Florida, within the Legoland complex. Now in 2024, 2 new theme parks will open, one in Texas and another in Germany. So you might have a Peppa Park right near you. Peppa Pig 3D. And speaking of Peppa's future, we'll soon have new seasons. And who knows, even new versions. It's expected that a new design will be tested in upcoming productions, bringing Peppa into the 3D world. In 2025, the 8th season is expected to be released, and in some episodes, there might be tests with Peppa in computer graphics to gauge the audience's reception. But don't worry, the classic version with its simple and charming lines will continue strong alongside this new 3D attempt. I think it would be very interesting to see this transition to 3D, as long as the main elements, like the eyes on the same side of the face, continue as a signature. The truth is, despite starting many years ago, Peppa Pig still has no end date. Many new versions, seasons, and movies will certainly come. And while we wait for Peppa's new productions, you can keep having fun with us here on the channel. For that, we've left 2 unmissable videos for you to watch right now. Pick your favorite, and we'll see you in the next video. See you then!